Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. Today we're gonna have an interesting live stream about SpaceX and their way of changing the game,
Hello
so to
YouTube
say.
viewers,
Welcome. I'm just making sure that audio and video is working. Professor, you have bought the membership of this channel. Thank you so much. Now you will get the experience of watching everything before release, meaning you're gonna get around 1 week of early release time. So that's with there. The Flame Core guy, Professor asks so dumb stuff, but will buy every membership. Lol. Yeah, it's like sometimes he does ask questions that are like, to think through things. But again, it's one of those things. Pramod, hi, hello to you. And so let's get started. Now, I've seen way too many people. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. I'm fine. I've seen way too many people talking about like a Mars mission and all that. You have to understand certain core aspect of this sort of mission, large scale mission, is that Moon and Mars are not on the same level. That's the first thing you have to understand. Moon is around maximum 2 light second away. Okay, so actually it's 1.8 and sometimes shrinks like based on orbit and timing and all that, but generally it's less than 2 light second, meaning 300,000 kilometer multiplied by 2, 600,000 kilometers. So it's so car driving espresso. Yeah, I do know. But again, I only know how to drive automatic, not manual, which is odd in India. But again, my car is automatic. I only get to drive my own car, so I'm like, I'm fine. And I know for a fact that sooner or later, more and more car will turn automatic. So it's not that big of a deal. I do not want to fight with my vehicle. I'm just like, bro, take me to point A to point B. I get it. Like some people enjoy that sensation and all that. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. So it's one of those things. Hey, how are you? Pramod, hi. So yeah, Moon is there. But about Mars is 20 minutes minimum. Like that's fundamentally much further away than people think. So it's not like, okay, if you can do Moon, you can do Mars. That's not how it works. Moon and Mars on a completely different scale. So it's one thing to have a small ship with life support for 3 days, which again we did in 1969. That's one thing. But having a starship, so to say, that has life support for years, that's a completely different thing. That's like, bro, no. That's like, no. That's like having such a delusional version of reality where you are actually, I'm not even joking, they were actually proposing that they're gonna use Dragon capsule to go to Mars. I'm not making this up. This was like real. That's why I'm said like you have to understand how Elon Musk thinks. Like whatever he thinks, there is generally rarely any filter that goes through it. Is like, okay, can it actually work? Can it like does it have any probability of working? No, it's just like he says it. So fundamentally speaking, as of now, the current state of humanity, we do not possess everything that is needed for a sustainable Mars mission. We can force it, we can rush it, things of that nature, but as a sustainable learn, this is a thing that we are doing, we can do it safely. Yeah, that likelihood is extremely low. So if anybody's like, oh, next, Homer transfer window, we're gonna do Mars mission. Yeah, no, that's not happening. At best, he can throw Starship there, but again, even that was beyond unlikely because be mindful, this testing also showed a very critical part. Heat shield is not functioning, and they had exact same issue in the last one. Now as long as your issues are changing, that's a good thing. So for example, the first launch, the launch pad got destroyed, your engines failed, and a lot of issues happened. Okay, that's one thing. Second, okay, now your launch pad is intact, everything is working fine, and then like okay, staging did not work as expected. Okay, cool, awesome. Then you solve that. So you brick by brick, every time the basically the problems are changing, it's good, it's awesome. But if problems are not changing, that means you are stuck. So where they are stuck at exactly where they were stuck, it's a heat shields. Heat shields are not working as expected. Critical thing is authority Fazal is destroyed and have to spend time on to judge its complex. So authority fallacy is destroyed and you have to spend time to crunch its complex. Yeah, that's the whole point. And different fundamentally speaking, you cannot just believe anything that somebody says, because you have to understand, let's say NASA, right? That name has value, right? NASA tag and all that. And his deal, they still made space shuttle, which was a bad system, which again their own engineers came up with the warning. It's like, bro, this is not a good system. You cannot have a rocket system which has escaped to orbit. Yeah, that's the only option it had. Like, okay, if something goes wrong, try your best to go to the orbit, any orbit rather than the precise orbit you were trying to do. And you're like, wait a minute, that sounds stupid. Yeah, that's the whole point. They could have detected issue. They did detect issue. They could not do anything about it because the design was not proper. Now again, they did thought it through. They had a Mark II plant that's supposed to be better, but again, because how much money they burnt, and given the fact that how it like it's supposed to fly 2 times a month, it barely did 2 times a year. So that's a fail. It's supposed to be cheap. It was ludicrously expensive. It's supposed to be safe enough. Well, it killed 14 astronauts. So fundamentally speaking, uh, it did not work. But again, this is from NASA. How the heck that can happen? But that's the life. Like, many times this sort of things happen. So hold on a second. Hold on. Hmm. So I bought second book. Do it today. Received it today. Good luck. Good luck. Reading books is a very good thing. Are you on OSHA disclosure listener? No. No. Uh, to sustainably reach Mars, we have to stay and move sustainably and economically. You are absolutely correct, perfectly factually correct. There is no, like, fundamentally speaking, here's the, if I give you 600 ton to Earth orbit, okay, and be like, okay, build something, 600 ton, that's all you have. The mass is 600 ton. Build something in space. That's only job is to ferry people from low Earth orbit to Martian orbit. That's completely different than, okay, build something on Earth, launch it through a rocket, and make sure everything fits together. Again, given the constraint of fairings, it will not be the same. You can take the same 600 ton of ISS today that it is made out of today, melt it all, and take the 600 ton and make something in space. It will be completely different. It will be a freaking luxurious hotel, so to say. But why is not? Again, everything is constrained by capsule size. Same thing happens in Starship. Starship is not the right vehicle for Mars. Heck, it's not the right vehicle for Moon. It's a low Earth orbit vehicle. And there are awesome things that can be done. For example, if it can go to orbit properly and it can stay in orbit properly, then this is a very good large space mission. Like, very good system. There is no discussion about that. That's like flat out good. And again, I could easily see them where they can have, like, Starship, they launch it and then they are like, okay, you launch Starship without any landing equipment. It's just a space station. And you may have some detaching equipments where you can detach the engines and all that, or you may just keep it. It's not an issue. And you can have some electronic thrusters, as in like argon thrusters and all that, to make sure the station keeping is done efficiently. Things can be done. All the heat shield gone. Basically, all engines would be vacuum optimized, because again, at that altitude they can fire vacuum optimized. It's just that landing one requires that, so they can get more oomph out of it. Remove all the heat shield, remove all the aerodynamic control surfaces, so they can do so much if they can just let it go and make it into, it's a space station. It's a small space station, but a space station. And again, if they have good metal working tools where they're like, okay, what if we can cut through the tanks? And again, that could be non-human volume, where it's just like, hey, we just put stuff here, people want to test, let's say, how things handle vacuum the tank side, the propellant size, and just like, okay, this is the vacuum. People have to, like, have a door from the payload fairing, have the door that goes into the fuel tanks, and that will be a very good useful space. Because again, what's the most expensive part in space? Actual volume where you can put stuff and do stuff. So there is a lot of option, but as a like moon mission, it's a stupid thing. When Freeman assigned to inspect Challenger disaster, he made the statement that NASA got too much internal politics. Yeah, that's factually true. There are books written on it, and it was like factually true that it was BS system. You are precisely on the money. Like they did, like I do like the fact that NASA hired a third party to make sure that they do not get corruption or corrupt contamination. So that was a good thing. But again, it did expose a very critical flaw, that just because it's NASA does not mean it's it's a magical, they do not get corruption. Like right now, SLS is like a tragedy, so to say. It's not even launched, it's a useless tragedy, so to say. I'm 21 now. Life so messed up. I'm improving myself first. I used to make many stuff up like RC plane. I even started in Telegram group. Learned a lot from you about life, and that's why I watch you or every live stream. Thank you so much. You are very kind. How much time you spent with your friends? Study says that it's good for mental health. Unfortunately, in my current scenario, I don't have much friends here. Like majority of my friends were in Bangalore, but things happened, and most of my friends moved out, and again I moved out from Bangalore. So things are completely different now. I do not have good physical face to face with friends. However, that being said, I'm generally always in contact with one or two or three of friends, generally regular contact. So that part I really do work my ass off to maintain. So that's the good part. Bad part is there is a penalty of coming into a smaller town, and again basically my hometown. Ironically, I did meet up with one of my old school friend, but It's one of the penalties, quote unquote, that I have to learn to deal with or make new friends, which again at certain ages becomes a bit difficult, but it's not impossible. So that part is to be decided. Let's just put it that way. It's to be decided. So hold on, just so yeah, that's the one thing you have to understand. So fundamentally, Starship can do a lot of things in low Earth orbit. As a moon mission, it's a stupid idea. Because you have to understand, fundamentally saying that we're gonna refill it 16 times is wasteful. It's like, can you do it? Of course, you can build space shuttle, you can build Concorde. It's just like, is it logical? Like for example, this is the best way to counteract people who are like, oh, they are SpaceX, they know more than you. It's like every Tom, Dick, and Harry tell that having a flat plate as a flame detector was a stupid idea. You know who listened? SpaceX. The next tower they are building now, it has a normal, you know, deflection panel. Because somebody like finally is, see, you can pour money into things and force it to work, but does not mean it's logical or wise. So generally in Mark 2, they generally fix themselves. So I do expect SpaceX to try that refueling BS, and then they're like, somebody, I just want somebody to pitch slap them hard, like go like, bam, put a freaking third stage there. And again, even if let's say worst case scenario, they can only do 100 ton to low Earth orbit. They need around 150 ton to low Earth orbit to beat, not beat, meet Saturn 5. They need 200 tons to exceed it. Now, assuming the stretch variant that they have, and you think like I'll talk about that. So let's say they talk about like putting 200 ton in one go in low Earth orbit. That's done. That's Saturn 5. That's better Saturn 5. So if they have just a payload, not the second stage, just the payload, detach it, that's a full-fledged Apollo mission with better metallurgy that we have compared to 1969, better computers which are exponentially better, better propulsion system, better everything. So in 200 tons of volume from low Earth orbit, you can do so much more, such a better lunar mission, and in one launch. And again, the rocket is reusable. So I do expect one or two mission to happen, and then people to like, yeah, this was stupid. Um, what after booster catch now SpaceX will do next Starship? It, see, there is a bit of bureaucracy here, so I do not know how quickly that will happen. And be mindful, you have to understand why the heck FAA is letting Boeing go, because Boeing is under NASA's contract, not FAA contract. Now, what does that mean? That simply means whenever you hear terms about like commercial resupply, commercial wing of government is FAA. Research and development and space is NASA. So NASA and DARPA, and not DARPA, DRDO. No, what's called? Uh, the wing that launches spy satellites, they and NASA have the authority to basically grant launch license. They can do it. Now why they are not doing it with SpaceX? Because SpaceX is supposed to be a commercial partner. So when you have that commercial tag, then you have to go through FAA. So when Boeing Starliner is being launched, it is classified as NASA's responsibility. And be mindful, same thing happened with Crew Dragon also. Crew Dragon, when it was going through testing, it was going through NASA. Now why doesn't NASA do it for everything? Well, it's expensive. NASA can do it, but it's expensive. So what's the whole point of commercial? Making it cheaper. So it goes to a lower, what you call, tiers of government, so to say. So there is benefit and side effect of that. Benefit, it's cheaper for the government. Penalty, slow, bureaucracy, BS. And again, it's FCC has to deal with FCC or FAA. Sorry, FAA. FAA has to deal with so many other stuff that they are overloaded at this point in time. And because again, US government wants everything to go to commercial eventually, that they are working on it to make sure that it gets expedited. They get more staffing to make sure they can handle the workload, so to say. So that's why the next launch could be very. So what do you think about abusing bad word, good or bad? These sort of questions have no value. I have seen many people who are like speak very softly, but they are very bad people, and people who are like curse like a sailor. They are very good people. Like life is not black and white. Like you have to grow out of that idea. It's like, oh, what if this? What if that? Like life is not that. Uh, hmm. I'm very specific about Mars. No idea what we are going to do there. No. See, in terms of doing things, a lot of things will happen. Amazing things. Because you have to understand, when people talk about money, right? We are wasting money on Mars. No. All the money, not even a single rupee or dime or dollar is going to Mars. Everything is being spent here. Spent on what? Developing technology. What do we use? Technology. Like think in this way, Saturn 5 worked. That's how NASA got built. That's how NASA figured out how to build rockets. That's how we launched satellites into space. That's how we got GPS. GPS is our backbone right now. So hold on. Hold up. Yeah, sorry about that. So fundamentally speaking, building technology helps us exponentially. Many things from basically nobody would think about it. Like there was no cordless drill in 60s. Why not? There was no need for it. Now, why did cordless drill and all that happen? Because of ISS. Like NASA publishes a book report of like what technology they are bleeding into the real world, and it's a very thick book, and almost annually they do. So you have to understand, like when we are building things for Mars, so much new knowledge will be created, so much new data set, a new tool set, new technology will be created. It would be like, like if you look into America's investment, like, America invested into this, how much it paid off and all that. The best print money, like, press P to control print money was Apollo mission. All the billions they have spent, the trillions they got out of it, that's like priceless, fundamentally speaking. So yeah, it may sound like, silly and waste of time and all that. No, there's priceless innovation in things to happen. And again, that's in short term. That's like, if you do it, what you get. That's like, oh, my father invested into Mars mission. Now we have this technology that I, as of now, cannot even envision. And what in long term? Long term, once humanity has a like foothold on Mars, like I mean proper foothold, then we become immune, resistant to oops scenarios. Whereas like, what if some oops happened on Earth? Okay, Mars is there. What if some oops happened on Mars? Earth is here. What if some oops happen? We have like, we have contingency, and that learning will finally allow humanity to get outside of cradle. There is a probability, not guaranteed, but there is a probability we can make Mars far better than Earth. Like why? Well, here's the deal. We Earth has a lot of legacy, religion, politics, borders. All of these things get destroyed. Like the moment you go to Mars, you don't have that luxury. You do not have that. Like that's a death world, so to say. So you do not have that luxury. That filter allows everybody to create their own culture for that position, and everything will be one. So that's a very good data point that they showed in the TV show Expanse, that Mars was Martian. Like it was completely different ethos. They were not building hundreds of ships because they did not have the resources of Earth, but they were building few reliable, robust ships, because again, that's the only way they could have survived. So there is a lot of potential there. Lot. Like not what you call Space Force now. Yeah, I think Space Force has that license. Okay, make a video on water irrigation system. I think I've already made it. And again, what do you mean by water irrigation system? Like you have to provide a bit more context. Is it good to use bio space? Okay, okay. Who holds the value of money in government? People things. It's a mix. It's not a single throttle. It's not a single thing where it's like, just that. I wonder what kind of system they have used to hover booster and place it between the chopsticks, similar to the something the instrument landing system. See, in this regard, SpaceX is very ahead because again, booster landing, it has radar, onboard radar that figures out how to land the damn thing, basically in the barge, that sea floating barge. That's how it does this. And here's a benefit. Ironically, the bigger ship you make, the more inertia it has. So ironically, it becomes more controllable. So a small thing is very twitchy. It's like once you make a big stuff, it's like I got this, I got this. Like it becomes far more stable, far more substitute. So from a computer point of view, it does not need to be jittery. Where it's like it's like it becomes like that. Again, it does need more oomph to do it, but it does become more stable. So it's one of those weird things. You will think it's harder. Actually, it's a bit easier. It's just they needed a balls to like let's try to do it. I also purchased refurbished Lenovo Think Center under 8K i5 fourth generation. Fourth generation is bit back. Four setup, a low power consumption, and making nice. I'm using refurb 2 years of my PC consumes is under 100 watt. Nice, nice. That's a good thing to do. Like again, buying new hardware has benefits, but again, if you do not need to, don't do it. Like that's a very good. And again, reusing old hardware, less e-waste. That's a good stuff. NRO, National Recognition Office, launches Spice Atlas. Yeah, NRO. No, but I'm pretty sure it's with D. The name starts with D. That can basically grant space license. It's D. I'm reasonably very sure that is D. Defense Department of something like that. Most criticism space mission again, people forgot humans got this far because of humans explore the world. Yeah, that's the fundamental point. Like again, it's first thing you have to understand, we are not spending money on space, we are not throwing money in space, we are developing things here. You are, and again, from a job point of view, so many new jobs are being created, so many new metallurgy has been created, so much has been again, it's like you are solving a problem that creates a toolkit. Awesome. That toolkit, figure it out what the hell to do. So many things. Space mission will give you direct innovation technology created with those mission. Doesn't give you directly the innovation technology created for those mission. Yeah, that's the point. It does not give you directly. You can rarely you will be like, okay, this gave us this, but it does. Like it's one of those things. Like if America ever spent money properly in one thing, that was this Apollo mission. They printed money after that. Like everybody like, how the heck America has like Silicon Valley basically the world's first Silicon Valley. Yeah, they built the microprocessor for NASA for Apollo, world's first integrated circuit, quote unquote. It's like one of those things, like high quality and all that. Like it's a miracle how much ballsy they were. Like again, they were a bit scared also, so that's helped, so to say. But that's okay. Space. How far is like to spending most of your life room alone like you? So how is like to spending most of your life in a room alone like you? I'm not alone. I have family, so that's there. Mom, I have mom and dad, so that's not an issue. Looking gorgeous in glasses. Thank you. What's the purpose and meaning of your life? Again, that's for me to discover. That's for me to discover. This is one of those things that you cannot share or explain, even if you try. It's like, why do you like this music? You like it. The end. Like it resonates with you. The end. There is nothing more to discuss after that point. You can, but it's again, it's philosopher point of view. And again, even though I'm a student of philosophy, I reached a point where I realized it's like it goes around and around too much. Where it's like, to I need to move, so to say. Apollo, my main computer source code of it. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, memory foam. That was also developed for Apollo. So yeah, good luck. Many people sleep properly because of memory foam, and that was built for Apollo. So fundamentally, the depth of prosperity that you can get out of having a proper space program is priceless. Like it's not something that can be priced. And again, you have to understand at some point you have to show children a unattainable goal. Like back in the day, like crossing the sea was the unattainable goal. You could not attain it. Then it was like flying. And again, right now space is that, and it has to be that. It has to be. There has to be something that pushes humanity further. Everybody who's like, okay, Earth has problems. Of course, it has problem. It will have problem. It will keep having problem. Anything that is alive is vulnerable to that. That's life. That's the inherent definition of life. That's the in Hindi we have a very interesting way of saying it, but in English translation is the only guarantee a living thing has is death. That's the meaning of it. It's like the moment you are born, the only guarantee you have in this universe is that you're gonna die. So you have to accept that. Like pushing through, it gives a very good purpose. And again, humans are a sucker for purpose. We need purpose. Like it's not optional. It's not condition applied. No, you need a purpose. Like this book, how not to give a f about anything. They were very clear about that. It's like you do not need to give a f about everything, but you do need to give something about it. Like you have to have something that of value. Otherwise, you will be very miserable. And again, you do not want unnecessary bloat, those sort of things. That's absolutely true. But again, you do need something. So inherently, it feels different when you think you're just gonna exist one day and they're gonna sun exist, moon existing, people exist, but you not just nothing. It feels different when you think you just not exist one day. Things are going, sun exists. I do not get to understand what's that in Hindi. I'll say that in Hindi channel, not here. I'll say that. Yeah. Oh, on other news. Hold up. My NAS video got a bit of traction, and there was this company 45 Drive. They do make good hardware. They made a new micro enclosure, so to say, and it was so bad. It was so bad. It pissed me off so badly. I got like, okay, either I can bitch about it or I can learn to do it better. So same way I started my YouTube channel, I was like, okay, what if I build something, even 3D printed? I have 3D printed, good. I do need spare drives. I do not have spare drives, but I do have dead drives, so I can at least test the physical. Basically, the issue was the hard drive bay. The hard drive, basically, how they are holding the hard drive is wrong. Basically, many times you will see hard drive like this, like hard drive, and airflow like this. That's a dumb idea. That's how we used to do it in 90s. A modern system is you have to have airflow perpendicular. The reason for that is if you have discs like this. Let's say you have discs like this. Many system have disk like this, and you fan pulls air through it. Problem is the surface area is very small and you have wiring here, so it becomes a choke point. So fundamentally, even if you have very high fan, the hard drives gets unnecessarily hot. That's why all the JBots that you see in modern times, they have hard drives like this, so air flows between them, and there is no wiring. Wiring is the bottom. You do not need to make fancy PCB with holes. It's like everything else. And 45 drives, they do that properly in their big systems, but in that micro they have hard drive like this, and there is not even a fan, and they have tiny fans. I got so pissed off. I was like, okay, I'm gonna build a better system, man. I'm gonna build a better system. At least I'm gonna get fan right. So thankfully I built the NAS system, so I do have a place to test things out. And since it's a good old huge case, I can actually, there is a probability I will be able to actually use it in the case. That's there. And to achieve that, I've already built up a CAD model and figured things out. So this was like, I just printed today. So I have this sled, so to say. Now I've thought of making a driverless, but problem was, since I'm a poor person, I may not be able to buy large hard drives. Basically, you can see this hard drive is much thinner compared to this hard drive. Both are 2 terabytes. So there are possibility you can buy modern drives that are thinner. So having sleds gives me that freedom. And be mindful, for 3D printing, springs is not a very good idea. So I needed something that removes that. Again, if I had metal springs, no problem, but again, I have 3D printer in home. I have to design it accordingly. So that project has been keeping me occupied, like my whole mental space. How the heck I'm gonna build it? And now, first I thought just building a caddy to hold it, like, okay, I'm gonna put hard drive, I'm gonna have fan flowing air through like this, not here but here, perpendicular. So that was my dream. Now then I got a itch. What if I make a back plane? But back plane requires a PCB, and whole wiring and all that. That was like too cumbersome. But thankfully, I saw some people built a 3D printed enclosure where they had hot swap, meaning you can like just puchu and pull it out. Homemade, no PCB required, because they were using this structure. Let me show you that. Hold up, side projects. I forgot where the heck I put it. Just a moment. Yeah, it has to sit there. So basically, people are using this sort of unit. The benefit of this unit is like one side it takes go to the hard drive, other side it. Now because it has mounting holes, like I can easily just screw mount it on a flat plate. So the idea is I'm gonna have a plate here. That plate will have this, and just I'm gonna plug into it. And on the other side, I'm gonna plug the SATA wire from motherboard and SATA power from the power supply. And I do not need to pull anything out. So hard drive goes in, I pull it out. I do not have to touch any wires. And as people have built some amazing structure with this. So let me show you guys. So right now this is what's going on in my head, 24/7/365. So hold on, let me see which one would be the best to show you guys. Some 3D printing one. Okay. Oh, unfortunately I opened a 3D printer file. Yeah, hold up just a moment. Please speak in Hindi. Diprasad, no, you are in my English channel. In this channel, I only speak in Hindi. You have to go to S to T, science to technology. That is my, Hindi channel. I will not speak Hindi in this channel. This channel is English channel. Complete. Oh, this is the thing that I was talking about. You can pay attention to the basically the PCB. If you have fan flowing through it, the PCB becomes a big hassle. Wiring becomes a hassle. And again, the axial fans, they are not what you call pressure fans. So they can push through it, but you are wasting a lot of energy. So that's why I wanted something that is, perpendicular, like a proper J-boards and all that. Okay. The best one I can show you guys is this. Okay, yeah, let's go with this. Like this is the one that I was talking about. So as you can see, they are using that adapter to make this rack system. So now you do not need PCB, you do not need anything other than that. Just 3D printing, screws, that's it. So I have ordered the parts, but it's not come yet. Like I ordered it like on 15th, but it has not arrived yet. So that's the there. What different you think? Just Apollo 11. It feels different when you think you're just not gonna exist one day and there's not gonna sun. See, it's like why your ego is so huge. Like think it through. Like why do you give a damn? Like there was a world before you were born. There will be a world after you are gone. So why your ego has to be so huge that you have to last eternally? It's like you have to come down to earth a little bit. What's that in Hindi? Okay. Like dear mighty things. The line you give inspiration like mine is dear mighty things. Yeah, that's one of the things. Again, expanse has a bit of negative connotation to it, but it does apply on Indians very well. It's like, even our dreams are small. And I'm got tired of it. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I cannot dream small. Like, I have one life. I'm gonna be dead. I have to make sure that I do things with it. Like, either it works or does not work. That's a different thing. But that's the whole thing. Please speak in Hindi. What about your sleep disc? Thankfully, the doctors have worked and medicine and basically constant physiotherapy. Basically, every morning I do the exercise that was recommended for it, and a bit of changes in my life, basically day-to-day life. And the sleep disc, thankfully, knock on wood, is far more manageable. It's like I rarely remember it. Right now, my issue is hamstring. It's like leg muscle is bothering me, but other than that, is everything else is okay. What about your court case? One case is still going on. Let's see what happens to that. But right now, it's not my primary concern. Is like I'm reaching to a point of equilibrium where it's like it is what it is. I cannot do anything about it. It's just like let it be. I'll get a call from lawyer. It's like, hey, you need to come this day. That's it. So we'll see about that. Some say smoking is bad, but everyone in India smokes, especially in Diwali. See, it's like you are reaching a point of like uh, what you call basically you are thinking like you matter too much. Okay, it's not your role to decide, criticize, or anything like that. Like science and all that, that's one fun and awesome. Because again, it's a non-human thing. But again, if you're like, oh, why people are doing this and all that, like again, you are wasting your life. You are wasting your life. Ain't nobody got time for your thoughts unless you are like rich. And again, if you are rich, you will not have time to think about other things. So you do not worry about all those sort of things. Oh, why they are doing this? Oh, why some people are not vegetarian? Or why people smoke and all that? Or why people? It's like, what do you do? Why do you do it? That's it. That's the end of discussion. Other than that, unless you're getting paid to worry about it, don't worry about it. What about court case? Yeah, it's like or slip disc. Yeah, I'll do my best to not speak in Hindi. I used the same way to plug multiple hard drives or SAS right now to RD or WR in my Toshiba laptop CD. One problem, they're locked, nothing is screwed properly. Again, in this scenario, I'm designing things to screw in. I'll get that's why this finger that you're saying, it will go into the holder that I'm building. It will go locked into there, and this will also lock here. Again, that has not arrived here. It should have been. They have not even shipped it. It's been oh yeah, almost 5 days. They have not shipped it. So that's the tragic part of it. But I'm waiting for it. I cannot design beyond a certain point unless I have that part. So that's a problematic part, but yeah, I'll be fine. How much you earn from your project? Zero. Damn, even our dreams are small. Yeah. What is the episode? Epicycle in planet's orbit. I'm unfamiliar with that. I'm unfamiliar. Do you forget things? Sir, I think you forget things very fast. I do not forget it. I just get tired of it, or something blocks me. Like for example, if I'm building this, right? I'm printing things out, printing it, and then let's say that does not arrive. And again, the cheapest one I bought, that adapter was like 250 rupees per piece, maybe a bit more than that. Now there are option available in Amazon that's like 700 or 400. I need at least four. I'm not gonna risk that much money. So there are things, generally something else externally blocks me, and yes, I do get tired. Like right now I have three parallel projects going. So right now I'm trying to achieve in this way where it's like if I'm working on right now, hard drives are taking my mind. Okay, cool, awesome. The moment I get bored from this, I'll go into older project and then I do that. Once I lost interest in it, then I'll go into third project. So again, that's my weakness. But my main work never suffers. What is my main work? My YouTube. That never goes down. So I'm working the best I could do. Like this is the best version of me. So, and again, it would be better if I never got distracted and all that. But again, it would be better if I were God. So it's one of those things. Ambition, Elon Musk of ambition or non-action. See, whatever he's doing things. So that's the one good thing about that. It's like he's doing it. There is no discussion. Like action speaks. Everything else is mute. Like I could, no, do it. Like again, even a small things like okay, I got pissed off by freaking hard drive enclosure. Like that's the point of me. But again, I got pissed off by it. I'm trying to build something better. There is nothing more than this. That thing. There is nothing more than that. Like you have an issue, you solve it. You go through a bitching process, but then you're like, okay, you have an issue, you bitch about it, then you solve it, then you move forward. There is nothing other than that in life. I think for this, do you told 23 per year? Well, wall behind it full of photographs. Yeah, uh, that was the plan to put photos there. I can still do it, but just don't want to. Like, I no longer have the interest. And dude, this year was like psychologically very brutal. Like, especially 2 months, 3 months ago, it was bad. Like, it was bad, bad, like very bad. But such is life. Things happen. Good things happen, bad things happen. So, mm, yeah, yeah. So, well, how about you make a rotating knob lock that you rotate and remove the hard drive, but you rotate it when backwards and keeps on holding on this. So again, I do not understand. Again, you can design it, no? It's a 3D system. Fusion 360 is free. You can try it. Like, this is the best design I could come up with. I am building it, working on it. If you can have a better design, go YOLO on it, build it. That's the whole point. See, I'm literally showing you that. It's like I have a problem, I'm solving it. Like, if you're thinking like this design or that design, again, I have no idea what you're thinking inside your head, right? That's a limitation. I cannot just like, oh, he's thinking this. That does not mean rotate what? Rotate against what? Where is the screw? How much travel it needs? What is the clearance on the back end? So this is the what you call my cabinet. This is my old computer case that I showed in the video. This four the slats that you see, and not the plastic parts that are on the other side, the physical metal brace. Yeah, I have lost that. I do not know where they are. So I cannot basically install more hard drives. I have only the topper two case. Now, thankfully, I only have two mechanical drive, but this gave me an idea that if I can make hot swap possible, uh, now I can have all the three drives, SATA drive and two mechanical drives into a hot swappable system. So there is a technical value into this. And if I can actually solve it, actually finish the build, it would be really amazing. Like some people have built some really complex system. I I downloaded so much. I was like this is a small one that people built. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. This is a hold up. Yeah, this is a small one that somebody built for 2.5 inch hard drive. As you can see, like how cleverly it has been built. Now, again, the problem with this design is like they do not have enough air for airflow. Even SATA disks are getting overflow. The creator who made this, he's like he talked about that in the notes where it's like, yeah, I designed it, I did not put enough ventilation there, so hard drives get like 70 degrees Celsius hot and all that. So ventilation is weak in this, but design is very cool, and they are achieving the same what you call the disk system, utilizing the same thing that I've ordered. Yeah, you can see. So that's the black part that you are seeing. That's what I have ordered. I have not received it yet. It's been almost a week. So that's again, let's assume the worst case. This does not show up. Then I have to make a decision. Do I spend exponentially large amount of money to get this, or do I move into my other project? Most likely I'll move to other project. I do not have that kind of money flowing right now. So, and see, this is, he also has put it the back end. So the idea is the back end is always connected to your computers, and then you swap in the hard drive or pull it out. So this is how they have done it. So this is what I want to make, but again, bit better. And the closest the in air terms of airflow that I've seen, where hard drive will not be choked and you do not need very high pressure fan, is this. As you can see, hard drive is perpendicular, so no wiring. Even a small fan can easily cool down very high power hard drives. Uh-oh, what the heck did I do? What the heck did I do? Did I deleted the file? Yeah, well, garbage. Yeah, that happened. Well, how about making a rotation? Okay. Do you think Indians lack confidence? No, I do not think. See, we are very good at business. Like, Indians are great at business. You can take many Indians like who barely had 5 rupees and 10 rupees, and they became a business entrepreneurs. Like, they are printing money. So in terms of business, we do not have any issues. It's just that our dreams are very very uh, immediate. Basically, we do not have faith in our long-term existence. It's like everything is just like money, money, money. Because why? Because again, money is instant. But if you are building a space company, that's like the return would be 30 years from now. So we suck in those sort of things. Like, why could not we build jet engines by ourselves? But again, we wanted it right now. Like, we did not have faith in ourselves. It's like, yeah, we're gonna build institute, we're gonna build labs, and we're gonna build stuff, and it's gonna be garbage, and then we're gonna keep working it. Mark 2 would be better, Mark 3 would be better, and then we're gonna keep progressing. So yeah, yeah, I will design it. Yeah, that's a good thing. Design it. Your voice is like a drunk voice. Like, so, no, I will not do members only live stream in this channel, simply because again this channel is much, much, much smaller. So I'm not gonna get that kind of traction. And again, doing that in English, Hindi channel itself is taxing enough. So, and again, I was getting a lot of spam in my Hindi channel. That's why I was did members only live stream, not members only, as in like members chat. But here I do not get that sort of spam. If I do, then I'll figure things out. Maybe I'll, like, start blocking a lot of people, or have, like, you have to be subscriber for 1 day. That's the longest YouTube allows you to do. So there are options before I go into that members only thing. Again, those did not work in my Hindi channel. That's why it has members only chat and all that. So. uh, hmm. I use FreeCAD. I get headache with it. That's up to you. That is up to you. See, there is a reason. Like, I tried FreeCAD, but again, I'm not gonna die on that hill, because my work is that I should have a part, right? For me, important part is getting this printed, not, oh, I made it in Fusion 360, or I made it into that. Because again, time is the most, like, I do not have the time to like fight with FreeCAD and all that. And again, FreeCAD has very bad design. Like, in terms of design, it's ugly. Why it's ugly? Because again, it's designed by programmers. Programmers are not artists. And like, again, you can see that like they have so many freaking features. I'm like, dude, get the basics right. No, like, features, this feature, that feature, so many freaking features, and the core does not work. I'm like, it does happen sometimes in open source projects, that, like, and again, even when I built my own project of that data logger for USB data logger, I specifically focused on GUI elements, because again, it has to be easy to look at, it has to be easy to work at. Because again, everybody's like, oh, just type codes and all that. It's like, I ain't got time for that. Nobody got time for that. Again, people who got time for that are programmers who are getting paid for that, so they have time for that. Everyone else does not have time for that. Maybe I don't know how to use FreeCAD. Again, see, time is the most limited element I have. I tried it. That's, one should try it. I tried it. Did not work. Cool. I'm not gonna go round and round. And I'm like, again, what is better for me? To have more 3D printing experience by actually printing, or going round and round and FreeCAD. And again, Fusion 360 has legally free. So I'm like, done. My calculation says that many lost most of the fat in the body. It may help healing faster. My calculation, dude, I am perfectly weighted, and that's not according to me. That's according to doctor. I do get through a lot of medical checkups. So you're just like randomly making bullshit up now, dude. I'm really frustrated by your name. You're not a professor, man. You most likely you are 16, 17 years old. And many comments that you say, that like just makes me realize that you have not gone through enough of life to know what factors can reduce the failure of vertical farming. See, it's not a viable. Like, it's one of those things where it's only viable for places like Malaysia, and for crops that are like very, 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 what you call, high value, like some flowers and certain spices, certain chilies and all that. Not for like grains. It's not going to work for that. And again, farming is no longer in a point where it's like we do not know how to farm. We know. And again, if you do healthy farming, it's problem solved. Like, that only requires you to do three things: to crop cycle rotation, zero till farming, and cover crops. Do all these three things. Basically, you have cover crops, you have zero tillage, and then you have to regular crop cycling. Over time, you're gonna get so much yield out of it that there is no point of like you doing hydroponics. When you talk about vertical farm, you're talking about hydroponics, putting everything in the water. But here's the deal: you are putting everything in the water. But when you are doing healthy farming in soil, you are basically utilizing biology to build stuff for you. Like, you are not putting nitrogen fertilizer. You are like, hey, nature, this is a cover crop. Use nitrogen from the atmosphere, use solar energy, and put nitrogen into the goddamn soil. So that's what we call nitrogen fixing bacteria. So that's one way of doing it. Or you could pay money to put a nitrogen in water. So you see the paradox. Yes, you can do vertical farming again for if the product is very high value, not bulk product, not potatoes, not tomato. You could do. I've seen a lot of people do tomato, but like grains, rice, and all that. No, that's not viable. And again, it can be done if people are willing to pay for it. But it's like in terms of like actual farming versus vertical farming, I could see vertical farming very viable for rich things, but not for bulk things. What factors can reduce failure? My question is very much tends to that he might not get a chance in need this year, but he's only thinking about what if he gets close, got a chance, and how will he answer his strict parent. Such is life, man. Such is life. Because I'm top 10% of Indian population. See, you cannot say that. Everybody else has to say that. Again, financially that can be talked about. Like financially, you can, yeah, that because it's a mathematical thing. But everything other that you cannot. I'm a programmer, and I believe I should take on FreeCAD and improve it. What type of problem are you facing? Can you tell me? Yeah, I'm not going with that. Like, see, the main issue is the core matrix does not. When you make a shape and you make it into a geometry, it creates a tree. The bottom there is a tree. That mechanic is not stable. Like they have people like you can type videos like that mechanism is not stable compared to Fusion 360. Fusion 360 has that core mechanic stable. It's like okay, if you create a shape, you delete a shape, it does not collapse. Fusion 360 knows how to handle that. FreeCAD will like create some weird stuff out of it. That was my like again I tried very hard, but it did not. So you can do that. Any plans for hair transplant? No. Like, here's a point. If I'm very rich, then I could do. I'm telling you because I had pulmonary surgery at age 21. What is that? Sinus. Hmm. Interesting. I was overweight and it got complications. I am not overweight. That's the funny part. I'm not overweight. So, and that's up to you. Again, how the heck people assume I'm overweight? Kuldeep saying hi, hi to you. So that's there. Fat matter and curd water in the heading part of the back. Yeah. So in SpaceX case, one of the very critical part aspect is that why the hell they are bothering with catching the booster, so to say. So the reason why they are trying to catch booster is because if they could do it properly, reliably, and again doing it once is the easy part. Doing it multiple times safely, that's hard part. Be mindful, they only already had suffered issue. This year was kind of brutal for Falcon 9. They had two failures in upper stage. So and be mindful, they have launched hundreds of it, then still had failure. So that's why it's not like oh they're gonna easily succeed. It's not that easy. It's not that guaranteed, so to say. So in that sort of context, catching the booster is basically increasing their capital investment but decreasing their running cost. If they are running Starship as they are expecting, so benefit of having the booster directly coming where it was meant basically launched from, it has saves them so much money. First, time wise, the booster comes back 15-20 minutes, done, booster is back. It's no longer like okay wait for it to go, like so the time duration shrinks. Okay, cool, awesome, you will know very quickly either worked or does not work. Okay, cool, that's the first part. Time, money cannot buy time. So that's the first time benefit. Second, the landing legs are removed from the booster. That saves weight. Cool, awesome. So that means more energy can be put into your payload, or more energy can be spent doing a U-turn, because again it is going in this direction, then it's coming back in that direction, so it does require a lot of energy saving. So as in like energy expenditure to turn back and come back. So that's one of the penalty. Okay, they did that, and again they no longer need that, and once they have caught it in the chopstick, they can just land it down literally where it came from. They do not need to build any new structure, any new crane, nothing. That vehicle transfer, I'm saying multi-axle transfer vehicle that they have, like that carries a Starship and boosters from the hangars to actual launch pad, that same craft can easily take it back for refurbishing and all. And again, their hope, aspirational hope, is that they would not need to. They will catch it, they'll let it cool down and chill out and all that, and they'll slowly let it down and then refill it quickly. Again, that's way too optimistic, but again, it could happen, like, if they've put it long enough. So if they do that, even if they remove the part where they can just refuel it just after use, which I do not think will happen anytime soon. It could happen, but not anytime soon. The fact that they no longer need like custom tools, custom barges, custom all that, that's like short up take money, and in terms of time, that's a lot of time saved. What about Starship? Starship can be caught by the launch tower itself, but it has to go do a whole orbit, then re-entry. So, and given the fact that they do have good re-entry control, meaning the targeting is there, it's just that they do not have the heat shield to handle it. Heat shield is still the weak link. So, phenomenal. You are gymming, no. NSG, no. I'm failing in few subjects and my degree is delayed. I feel so bad. I stopped my small business that I set up. Happens. Sometimes life throws a wrench at you. It happens. It's one of those things. I need help in dissertation. How can I reach you? Again, I cannot help you with dissertation. Again, I'm an artist, not a scientist. Research is the most difficult job, I think. No, it's the least paying one. The future battery tech, there is no magical future where it's like, oh, we did not have a battery, now we have battery. Like the only jumps were like in terms of battery technology was lead acid, nickel metal, and lithium. There is nothing right now that is big. Again, you can call sodium, but again, sodium is weaker than lithium. So it offers basically cheaper price rather than like better battery. So I do not think lithium will go away at any time soon. And again, yes, you can have lithium chemistries. For example, lithium iron phosphate, lithium titanate oxide, and lithium ion and lithium polymer, basically nickel, manganese, cobalt, NMC cells, and all that. So it's almost sorted, and at this point in time, we are refining it. So again, how much can we refine? Almost 2x what we have right now. But I have not seen any new magical thing where it's like, this would be magical and it will magically increase it. There is nothing like that. Do you think idea of quick swappable batteries might work in smartphone also? Many companies have tried that. It's not that desirable. It's like, again, you may think it's valuable, it's not. Because yes, still nowadays you have wireless charging. You can just put your phone somewhere. And again, you do not have to worry about waterproofing. You do not have to worry about like, it falling apart, because anything that you can easily remove can easily get removed accidentally also. So it's not viable. Like again, LG had a phone that you can swap batteries. So, and other companies have also tried. So we used to have that, man. We used to have that. So in today's world, it's not a what you call a very viable desire. Like there is no desire. In car, there is a desire, but again, it will not work because of the structure. In big vehicles, there is a desire and it is working. China is making amazing progress, and Australian companies are making amazing progress. So again, you have to understand the tool, battery swapping, does not have the same desire in every technology. In some technology, it's like, hey, shut up, take money. Others, is like, there is no point. They are over optimistic about rapid reusability. Even the aircraft needs basic checkup every landing is like 70 years of optimization, and ratio of craft is also high. Again, that's an aspirational goal. Like that's what they're hoping for. That's what their aim is. That's a good aim to have. And again, scientifically, it can be done. Can they do it very quickly? Hell no. But I could easily see that happening. And again, checkup. What about the let's say they have a very good checkup system that does the diagnostics and all that. And again, it's like only for first 10 times I'm gonna do this. After that, you have to do proper maintenance. Again, aircraft also do the same thing. Many aircraft lands into a small airport nearby. They do not do checkups and all that. Checkup, they're supposed to be a checkup, but again, after a few flights, and again, there is a maintenance time and all that. So I could easily see that one launch or two launch, this sort of things are possible. So uh, magnetic power backs are best in smartphone, alternative of smartphone battery. Yeah, that's the point. It's already there. It's not a desirable issue. Basically, nobody is suffering for this. We have two options. You have magnetic charging, so you do not have to do anything, and you have fast charging using this. So it's like you can try it again. We have that tried that. It does not work. Like nobody is like willing to pay for it. So that's the end goal. Physics, engineering, economics. Nobody is willing to pay for it. Do you think Indians only think about short term? Yeah, this is a penalty of our our past. We got our independence. You have to understand from our parents' point of view, especially their parents' point of view, they were enslaved. It was not a good time to be an Indian back then, like 75 years ago, 76 years ago. It was not a good place to be. So that sort of, and again, that's after 200 years. That's like from East India Company, and go before that. That's like what, 200 years of Mughal Empire. So it wasn't a good what you call like a healthy place to be as an Indian, so to say. So that fundamentally changed our what you call perspective. Again, we had to survive basically. It's almost like a collective trauma, so to say. And again, even why the heck Indians have so much diabetes, that's the reason for it. Because again, we gone through so much what you call famine. It damaged us on like almost genetic level. So we are very sensitive to diabetes, so to say. Magnetic charging is very inefficient, and no one needs it to. Magnetic charging is very inefficient. No one needs it to. Dude, are you smoking? Are you smoking? Like, really think it through. Are you smoking? Is it inefficient? Yes. Who cares? It's not like it's burning kilowatts of energy. Second, nobody needs it. People needs it. People are paying for it. Companies are advertising on it. People are buying phones based on that. Hey, does it have magnetic charging or not? So, yeah, people are willing to pay for it. So NAS and DAS may okay. DAS is just a bunch of hard drive that you connect via USB. NAS is you have almost a server that can work over network. Network is the main part. Direct is you just connect to PC. NAS inherently is designed in such a way that it goes to network. Benefit of that is one device can connect to multiple users. So my NAS, even basic NAS, even if you build with Raspberry Pi and all that, can easily serve multiple people. So if you have a household, right, and let's say you built a lot of libraries of movies and it's in your NAS, it's much easier for your NAS to connect to your router and transmit file all across the ecosystem. So every parent you have, a mom, dad, brother, sister, wife, a child, whatever have you, all of them can stream data from that storage service. That cannot be done in DAS. DAS is like just a bigger hard drive, multiple hard drives just as a bigger hard drive. So that's why that's just a hard drive. It's not in network. Network allows you to do multiple more things. It's like when you sleep in night, generally 12. Yes, I understood. Thanks for answering. Indian citizen. Okay. Your favorite food like eat at home? Shahi paneer. That's my favorite. Good evening, sir. Good evening. You came almost at the end time, man. It's almost over in time. Yes, I understand. Hold up. Yeah. So, any plans to upgrade your car? No, I just upgraded the lights. The only thing I want to do is I have a yes, AC vent in the back. That's the primary thing. Whenever I have to travel for very far and I have to lie down in the back, I do miss second AC vent. That's the one thing that I'm like, I'm not happy with. Like, I really wished it had that. Again, I wished many things in my car, like a power window in the back. It does not have that. Thankfully, I will be able to do that soon, and if I'm willing to pay for it. But it should be doable. Having like electric up and down. Having second AC vent, that's a quality of life improvement. That's like my priority, quality of life improvement. Another than that is like maybe air pressure sensors, wireless auto, Android Auto, but damn, that's expensive. It's wireless Android Auto is like almost 10,000. Basically, you converting your old Android, right, Android Auto wireless. Android Auto wireless kit is like freakishly expensive. It's like painfully expensive. Banggood has some cheap ones, but Banggood is not sold in India. It's like CarLink is like 5,000 rupees. I'm like, yeesh, yeesh, that's expensive. But I do wish for that. Like that's a quality. Those sort of things are like what you call quality of life improvement. I would wish for that. But again, second AC vent is the most like it will have directly good quality of life improvement. That's the one thing that I want. Uh, I'm from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Nice. Which glasses come from? Will the glasses come again? Glasses as in? I don't know. No problem, sir. Next live, I'll first join first your live stream. Yeah. Okay. Mm. So yeah, I could buy that like CarLink, but again, I'm not using it right now too much. But AC vent is problem is I've seen a lot of people do that with Wagoner. So I know how to take out the plastic trim, where to put pipes, everything is sorted. I just do not know how to do that in this what you call my car basically. Um, and again, the problem is the handbrake. It has a plastic trim, but trim goes down too deep. It touches the metal. Basically, in a Wagoner, the trim does not touch the plastic. It's like the handle, plastic, and then the metal. There is gap. People put like washing machine pipe in there. That's how you can route air. I do not have that space, so I may have to cut some holes. That's not desirable to cut holes in your car, so to say. Install power window or electrical modification warranty may be void. Yeah, that's the thing. But I do not think the second AC vent will do that, because again, it's like inherently it will be the same thing. And again, you have to understand, company, if they want to void your warranty, they will find 10,000 things. I already have LED lights there. I already have rear camera, which again, technically they can say, hey, we did not sell the rear camera. So if company really wants to void warranty, they will. Any recommendation on movie or web series? Again, I may be watching tomorrow, like Deadpool, Wolverine and Deadpool after so long, but that's likely. Okay, guys, it's been a very interesting live stream. Surprisingly, none of you did donation in English. That's but to be expected. Thankfully, it was a nice live stream. We are going to handle waste in Leo. Is going to responsible even a caseless syndrome. Hope my lifetime. Last money. So what money makes to internet? I'm buying health insurance kind of gamble. Is buying health insurance kind of it just improves your odds of survival. Mhm. Okay, is so installing solar a good decision? Of course, it was a good decision. It's just that my battery size was small. I needed much bigger battery. So that's the problem. Okay, anyway, I will see you guys next week in the same time, same channel. Bye.